afternoon. My name is Luna. Welcome to the channel. I've created the channel to help other people heal from trauma, as well as myself. We will be working together to heal from, the experiences that we went through, whether that be acute or prolonged trauma. And regardless of the type of trauma, women and children and men and everyone can get trauma at any point in their life, right? And that will have adverse side effects. So let's say, for example, a myth that goes around involving children is it's okay because they won't remember. That is a lie. Even if the body doesn't remember, the brain could, or the emotions could, right? Or if the brain doesn't remember, if you don't have visual memory, your body can remember and your emotions can remember. So it doesn't have to be all conclusive, right? You can have a trigger and a trauma response and literally have no idea why you have that. It is extremely unfortunate that happens, and when that happens, for those who don't actually remember, because they don't understand what's going on. They don't understand why, they had that response, or why they feel that way, or, it's really rough. And kids do remember, whether or not their brain remembers, their body, emotions, their overall being can remember without having a visual inside their brain memory, right? So my goal for the channel is to, break some stigmas like that, and myths like that about trauma and PTSD. I suffer with CPTSD. It's complex. So that's what the C stands for, is complex post-traumatic stress disorder. And it's not just that it's complex for me, but it's also, stacked, because I have had trauma from early childhood. And then when in my teen years, I also had trauma that was different from my early childhood. So I'll give you a little bit of precursor. When I was 6 weeks old, I was diagnosed with neuroblastoma. I was the only child that survived with neuroblastoma in that hospital out of 31. I was told that I died on the operating table for 2 minutes. I had woken up through a couple of different surgeries, and it lasted until I was 4.5 years old. I have, still to this day, responses in regards to going to see the doctor, for example, or, having to get my blood drawn. All of those things really freak me out. And then, on top of that, when I was about 8 or 9, I remember looking into the mirror and not understanding why I was the only one to survive. I had wished at the time that I didn't survive, but everyone else did. I really, really felt bad for all of those other children, and I still feel bad for all of those other children. I really wish that we could have all survived and had wonderful lives like we were meant to. But, so with having, those struggles from early childhood, it does affect you later on. And the myth is that, you know, like the child doesn't remember, and that is absolutely wrong. You know, so I am here to like break that myth, right? It's absolutely wrong. There has been case studies of, you know, people who go to war, they come back and they have, you know, responses, and like, and they have triggers from it. And like, I remember reading a case where a man, he had an explosion happen and he developed Tourette's afterwards. And it was actually not Tourette's. It was his brain was reliving, even though he wasn't remembering it, his brain was reliving that trauma response. So our bodies store trauma. So eventually I would like to like do dance videos to where we can release that trauma. I know women in particular generally hold trauma and anger and really any sort of negative emotion in their hips, and so that's what we would be focused on, is the hips, and we would dance out the trauma. I do believe that is in my future, well, in our future. And then I think that, you know, I think that we will be able to move forward, not just, you know, you, but also myself in this, because I am still healing from, you know, the trauma that I've been through. And so, yeah, I'm excited to be on this journey with you, and it's going to be a long journey, and we will have ups and downs together, and that's going to be okay. And, you know, it doesn't matter. There's such a stigma to talk about the trauma. There's such a stigma to talk about, you know, abuse and neglect and you know, anything that could have happened. You don't want to talk about that. Like, people don't want to talk about that because they don't want to make other people feel bad, but it's time to live for you, right? You have to move forward in your life, and the only way to do that is to talk about it, is to work through it, to dance through it, to, you know, learn techniques to better help you, to help ground yourself, and to move forward in life, and not allow your body to be stuck in that fight, flight, or fawn response, because that's what happens. And like, just overall healing and well-being. And even if you haven't had trauma yourself, you might know someone who has, and the techniques that I want to share with you guys can help other people that you know, or even like a stranger. Being in like a grocery store and you see someone like freaking out, right? Or I call it freaking out, but it's really not. It's their body's having a response and they don't know what to do with it. So learning grounding techniques and like learning how to coach someone through that, whether they want to be touched or not, you know, all of those things matter. And even for you, like learning your own like responses and how you need to be comforted, all of those things matter. And boundaries, you know, learning how to create and set boundaries for yourself and other people, all of those things matter greatly. Even like for young children, you know, the young children don't know boundaries, and they don't know, you know, what is exactly right and what is wrong, you know, not all the time. So learning those things and learning how to teach those things to other people are needed, right? And I'm extremely happy to be here with you guys to like further our journey together in helping ourselves as well as other people. And again, I'm not a healthcare professional. This is just basically a laundry list of things that I have dedicated my life to in researching, because it is something that I have struggled with forever, and I'm not good at it with myself, right? And like, if you're not good at something, so for example, a basketball coach, he wasn't good enough for the professionals, but he knows how to make other people in that level, right? Like, so that's what my goal is. My goal is to help teach you so that I can be better and that I can help someone else. Yeah. So hi. I do believe that us working together, we can do extremely extraordinary things, and helping just the child down the road, or someone over the internet. It doesn't matter, right? I want to help people, and I enjoy helping people. And yeah. I hope you all are having an amazing day, and I hope to see you guys soon. Thank you.